Are you still struggling? Here's a solution if you want it. Here are 25 great money-making ideas. Here are 25 money-making ideas. We are going to start with 10 money-making ideas that you can do online from your home, or from anywhere for that matter. Number one is to pick up freelance work. Upwork is a great site that you should check out. You can put up on Upwork what your skills are, what you would be great to hire out for. Sometimes it takes about 24 hours, maybe 48 hours to get hired for a gig, but it's a platform that a lot of people use not only to put what they're available for, but people go to it to hire people. So please check out Upwork. Number two is to test websites and apps. That's a really great thing to do because you can do that 24 hours a day as much as you want. It does take some time to get a little bit traction. People need to know, what type of websites you are good or apps you are good for testing out. But it is something that is actually wonderful, and it's a great side gig if you're looking to do something extra. Number three is pick up tasks on Amazon's Mechanical Turk. So you got to just Google Amazon Mechanical Turk. It does take, maybe about a week, hopefully less, to get approved on this website. But once you're approved, it is a great way to get extra work coming in the door. You do have to be 18 years old to look at that. Number four is to take surveys online. I actually tried that with SurveyMonkey. It was interesting because it says, you can make $50 a day taking surveys. And so I got drawn in and I made like $2 a day. I made $5 another day. Apparently I did not stick with it. I wasn't looking at it for a true side hustle. I was really just wanted to check out the site so I would be better informed when it came to making this video. Apparently, if you stick with it and they gather your information and you become more of like a real person that they can then go out, you're not going to ask me about football games, or you're not going to ask me about a lot of travel stuff. So once they kind of narrow in what my area of expertise is, then apparently you get surveys that are worth more and more money to take. I think I was getting like $1 per survey, sometimes 50 cents per survey. Sometimes I spend like 3 minutes doing like the preliminary survey. Then they'd be like, oh, sorry, you're not worth it. And they would give me 2 cents. And I was like, okay, I got 2 cents for 10 minutes. That wasn't really worth it. But so if you stick with it, SurveyMonkey is the one that I'm aware of. I'm sure you can Google like taking online surveys and find something. Number 5 is make money from your blog. I was going to say blog or affiliate as an affiliate. Again, this is something great that it comes up on lists. YouTube channel comes up on lists. I've been doing my channel for a month. I'm not even close to getting monetized. I guess if I extrapolate out based on watchable hours, it's going to be like 6 months to a year if I'm lucky. Blog is the same way. You've got to generate that traffic. So if you're not generating that traffic, you're really not going to get a lot of money. So I do think, blogging, and I'm sure later on this list, the YouTube channel is going to come up as affiliate or being monetized on YouTube. Eventually, you probably can make a good amount of money, but it's going to be 6 months to a year. I heard one woman, it was 2 years before she got monetized. So you really have to be patient with these. If you want money right away, I would probably go to SurveyMonkey or something. Okay, so number 6 is selling your stuff on Etsy. So again, I think this is potentially short-term play. It depends what you're playing, where you can get monetized or make money quickly. It also could be long-term. So I had an Etsy shop. I did produce a video on that. I had it for years. I did get it up to making substantial money on it. However, I didn't start day one and make substantial money. So depending on what you're selling on Etsy, if you're selling vintage goods, you could probably make money day one. I never sold vintage goods, so I don't know how hard it is to make a sale of vintage goods. I sold personal items, which I think is something that people do go to Etsy for. I think you get a lot more traffic for making and selling personalized items. But Etsy is something good. And again, I think you're going to need to ramp it up. You're going to need to think about what you're doing. I pretty much could make money. I don't want to say make a profit, make revenues within a week. It might take me a little bit longer. It definitely took me longer to make substantial money. I did start really small and ramp up. So I always just reinvested the money that I made back into my Etsy shop, which is how I was able to ramp it up so much. So depending on what you're selling and what you're planning on doing, an Etsy shop is a very, very good way to make some money. Number 7 is to get advertising revenue from your blog and YouTube channel. And again, to me, it's just going to take time. So yeah, maybe this channel will make money, maybe this won't. I didn't go into it making money, but I do see that maybe it is something that can happen down the road. In which case, we'll have to see how that all plays out with my financial services business. So it is something that's possible, but if you need money tomorrow, that's not necessarily the route that I would take, is thinking that you're going to make money on YouTube. But I do think you can make money on YouTube. I do think you can make money on YouTube, but it's just going to be a longer process to get that. So 8 and 9, these things are great, and I think they're really great for teenagers, young people, a way to get monetized on something that you're already doing and you love. But number 8 is to become an Instagram influencer. Again, nobody's going to want me as an Instagram influencer. But I all of that takes time. Number 9 is to monetize your Twitch channel. If you have a Twitch channel, I don't know if Twitch has any rules surrounding it the way that YouTube does, that you have to have a certain amount of subscribers and a certain amount of watchable hours. If it does, look into that and start slowly. I was trying to get my kids to do something. I said, look, you produce a video a month on something you enjoy doing. Yeah, it's not going to amount to much now, but 5 years ago, 5 years from now, 6 years from now, when you're in college or graduating college, if you stick with a video a month, a video a week, it's going to amount to something. So, it depends really what your need for money is. Is it immediate? Is it something that I can, really plan out and do strategically and do it over a course of time? And number 10 is to sell photography. So there are sites where you can sell photography. There's SmugMug, 500px, Photo Shelter. You can make t-shirts, you can make prints. So if you are into photography, if you've got some great photos, I would look into selling it. You don't know what's going to happen unless you try. So that's my motto pretty much in all these videos. Go out and try, have someone say no, have someone not want to buy your photo. You don't know till you put yourself out there, and you might be surprised if you do put yourself out there what the results are. So the next 15 items are how you can make money from your home. So number 11, I think, is a great one. We utilize a dog sitter when we travel. We do have 4 dogs, so boarding them would probably cost us like $300 a day. So we pay a good amount of money. We don't pay $300 a day. So we're saving not having our dogs cooped up in a little cage at a pet place, a boarding place. They get to be in our own home. Someone gets to use our home. That may or may not be a good thing. But maybe they get a vacation from their own home by being in ours. Our dogs are happier. I'm saving some money. I'm paying money to a teacher. It's extra money for her. She doesn't have to be here 24 hours a day. So I feel like it's a huge win for the dogs getting to be home, but it's also a nice win for the dog owner not to having to pay as much money as boarding. And then it's a win for the teacher that's getting to make this extra money by sitting. So look into being a dog walker or a dog sitter. I think I would pay someone to walk our dog, except I have 4 teenagers, so they better be walking my dog. You can also sell unused gift cards. I didn't even think about this one, but my in-laws mainly give a lot of gift cards, and my kids don't use them, or it ends up in mine. Like I find these gift cards, and I'm like, I don't even know how old this is. I don't know if it's used, but I think if we got gift cards right away, selling them would be a way to make money. And I know people that have stacks of, like my mom gets stacks of gift cards, and it's probably like $1,000 of gift cards, because her birthday's 15 days after Christmas. She gets gift cards for Christmas. She gets gift cards for her birthday from my siblings, and they literally just sit there because she doesn't need clothes. And so it's kind of, I think a lot of us have started giving her gift cards to restaurants because she does eat. so that works out. But you can sell your unused gift cards. You can also list your unused bedroom. We actually have our vacation home listed on a platform because we don't use it the majority of the time. It's something my husband and I bought knowing that interest rates were going to rise and housing prices were going to rise, and we actually kind of timed it almost perfectly with interest rates low and right before the housing markets rise, that we're going to use it when we retire. But in the meantime, we rent it out. So if you have a spare bedroom, if you have a spare home, look on Airbnb, look on VBRO, and rent it out. That's a nice way to make money. Other ways to make money offline are sell your gently used clothes. I actually did that with my kids' baby clothes, and I would get things, buy one, get one free, and then I would sell it, and I would actually make a profit on some of it. Now, I had triplets. I had a ton of clothes, and they kept growing, so you had to keep buying more clothes. So it was really a nice way for me to kind of, not go into debt trying to buy my kids, nice clothes as they got older. Now they don't wear nice clothes as teenagers, but back then I was able to, I actually sold shoes that I used to wear when I worked in New York City. I sold a lot of the baby clothes. It was a nice way for me to make money when the kids were little, and it was almost immediate. I put it on eBay. There's an auction for 7 days, and the stuff is sold. So that was really, really helpful when the kids were little and I was a stay-at-home mom. Along with selling clothes, obviously you can use eBay to sell phones, electronics, and get cash. I actually gave away a phone to somebody because they refurbished it and sold it, and then I was like, well, why did I do that? I probably could have sold it. I could have sold it on eBay, maybe only for $50, but sell it on eBay, and someone else can then refurbish it and sell it for $100. I realized after I did that, I was like, why did I do that? I don't even know this person really. So that was kind of silly of me. Number 16 is something that I did when I was in New York City just to get extra cash when I needed it, was babysitting. It was really kind of funny because I ended up babysitting with someone who graduated business school, or for someone who graduated business school a year before me. We had a lot of friends in common, and it was fun. It was fun to do that, and it was also neat to see other people's apartments in New York City. But that was a way, I stayed in on Thursday nights. I didn't go out. I had to get up early for work on Friday. I didn't necessarily like staying up late when people would go out till 1 o'clock in the morning, 2 o'clock in the morning in New York City. And eventually I would just take a nap in their apartment. Yeah. But it was nice. And I was able to get extra money when I needed extra money, whether it was to go on a trip, or I wanted to go to a Broadway show, or what have you, or I just wanted to save extra money, because I spent a lot in this city. So it was nice to always have a little cushion of money when I needed it. So babysitting gig is something you can do. And now it's easier. Now you have Sittercity. I think I was found off of Craigslist. Now you have Sittercity and Care.com. Put your profile out there. Nobody says you have to say yes when someone contacts you to babysit, but it is nice to have that option if you're looking for extra money. Number 17 is rent your car out. I'm not sure I would do that because I love my car. But if you don't use your car, I guess I do. I use my car every day. I have teenagers. I wasn't expecting to have to go out last night, but my son stayed out till it was dark outside, and I needed to pick him up from the park. So if I had rented my car out, I'm really not in that situation to be able to do that. But maybe you are. Maybe you have an extra car. Maybe on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesdays, you work from home, you're not going to use your car in the morning, so you can put it on that site. Obviously, it depends where you live. If you're very rural, it's probably going to be hard to rent out your car. But if you live in a more urban area, that is something to look into. And there is insurance. You can have your insurance for a guest driver, or a driver that's not you. So you make sure your insurance has that. I would look into that. That if that person driving your car got in an accident, that your insurance would cover it. Number 18, I mentioned earlier, it's TaskRabbit. Oh, no, I didn't. I didn't mention TaskRabbit. I mentioned Upwork. So TaskRabbit and Upwork to me are kind of like sister sites, but they're slightly different. So Upwork is usually more for online help, if social media, networking, what have you. TaskRabbit is actually you are hiring someone to do a task in your home. And I kind of used an example when I brought it up in one of my other videos of changing light bulbs. Maybe not in this room, but I'm scared of heights. So there's certain ceilings we have in our house that are really high, and there's just no way I'm getting on a ladder to change it. I am married. My husband is alive, so he has to do it. But if I was living alone, I definitely would call TaskRabbit. Maybe not to come over to change one light bulb, but when I had a bunch of tasks that needed to get done that I'm too scared to do, then I would look up on TaskRabbit and see if I could hire somebody for that. 19 is something I do, but I look at it now is that I'm paying myself. I used to pay a private tutor. So number 19 is to become a tutor. I used to hire a private tutor to tutor my kids, and she would tutor them in math and English. And then what I realized from my older son was that she's not as natural with math as I am, but I was having a hard time kind of getting that time to setting it aside to tutor my kids. And I realized well, gosh, if I view it as paying myself, I'm going to make the time. And so I have, and it's actually worked out really nicely. We've been doing that since December. I've took over the tutoring of my kids for math. And yeah, it's worked out really nicely. But that is something I thought if my kids were older, or in college, that I could offer tutoring skills. I love teaching math. I like when kids you see it click and they learn. I've mentioned on here, I've wanted to be a teacher or a professor. It's partly kind of why I like these videos. I feel like I'm at least maybe teaching you on the other side. So become a private tutor. And you can, if you're not a math expert, if you're not, into reading Shakespeare, tutor younger kids. My son Liam had a tutor since he was 4. He has a learning, he has a language and auditory learning deficit or challenge or whatever they're calling it these days, disability, which I guess is not used. But so he's been tutored since he was 4. And there's probably, if I didn't have 3 other kids running around, 2 other 4-year-olds and a 5-year-old, I probably could have tutored myself, although I don't necessarily have all the expertise. But, it just took repeating. It took repeating a lot of letters and sounds, reading books to him, just constantly exposing him to words. He did have a special speech person at school. But I do feel that a lot of teaching little kids is repetitive exposure. I don't want to sit here and say, your kid doesn't need, if he has a learning challenge like Liam does, he doesn't need someone who's specialized, because the women who did tutor him in the beginning did do things that were very, very specialized. But maybe you can tutor someone in 1st grade and just help reading. And a lot of it is just taking that time to read. And parents these days are so busy and they don't read to their kids and they don't talk to their kids in an adult manner. So where those kids that, maybe a little bit slow to go up that learning curve just need a little extra attention. But that is something I believe, if you have the patience and the love of kids, that you should be able to offer yourself out to tutor. Number 20 is to drive for Uber or Lyft, or DoorDash or Grubhub or one of those services. Uber and Lyft are probably going to get more bang for your buck because there's more people looking for taxis than delivering food. And it might be more enjoyable for you if you like people. Maybe you don't like people, so you want to deliver food. And so that was kind of, delivering food is also 21. So 20 is delivering people. 21 is doing being a driver and for Lyft or Uber, and 21 is to use Amazon, Uber Eats. There's a lot of other companies that are doing delivery. I get white trucks coming into our driveway, which spook me a little bit, and it ends up being someone delivering for Amazon, or sometimes we get cars that are delivering packages for Amazon. So look into those services. There's a lot, if you like driving, my husband loves driving, to look into those services to be able to do that. Number 22, I think I would really love, 2 days a month is to be a house sitter, just leave my kids and husband behind and stay in someone else's house where it's nice and quiet, maybe no dogs. Well, it would be no dogs because a house sitter versus a pet sitter. But put yourself out there as a house sitter. I mean, I think people are looking for that. They don't want to necessarily leave their house completely empty. And you might enjoy it. You might enjoy the peace and quiet to kind of, get away from your otherwise, at least my otherwise crazy life. I think number 23 would be fun, and that's to be a mystery shopper. Okay, it might not be as fun as winning the lottery and getting to shop for yourself and anything you ever want. But a mystery shopper, I think really what you're looking for is, how are the salespeople? How does the store look like? What is your overall shopping experience? Sometimes companies hire, and maybe they're not called mystery shoppers, but shoppers to check on the people working the cash register. Are they stealing? Are they not stealing? So kind of looking into that. So number 24 is seasonal work. So, it's around the holiday. Maybe you want to be Santa Claus and work at holiday shops. Maybe Easter, you could start working, I guess some people sell bunnies at Easter time, or a flower shop or what have you. So there is seasonal work. Obviously in the summer, lifeguard, anything at the beach. I live a mile from the beach, so anything at the beach that you want to do, that would be fun. Number 25, nobody would hire for me to do because I don't have a drone, but it is to put your drone to work. If you have a drone, if you like drones, I know taking photography with drones is very, very popular these days, especially with real estate. You want to show off a yard or the area surrounding you. There might be legalities around that. I don't think you can go into someone else's yard and take a picture of their house in their yard, but put your drone to work. Look into sites that are looking for real estate agencies. I would contact them. Are you looking for a drone photographer? Maybe they have one. Maybe you're better. Doesn't hurt to ask, doesn't hurt to, probably go in person and to introduce yourself if you wanted to do that. Anyway, those are the 25 ways that you can make money. So get out there, get yourself together and start making some money. Thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye.